Why do parents around the Western world despise entrepreneurial students? Why is this the case for the parents that put their kid towards the educational curricula and then is frustrated when the son wants to basically be an entrepreneur? He wants to basically go a business because this is the first reason. They have a visceral outlook of you. They are projecting you, framing the way you live your life, everything, as if they're living it. Now that's a bit of a disgusting thing. The equivalent of that is if you have a porn addiction and then you're watching like other hot models sleeping with each other. That is the viscerality of this outlook. Now parents are going to be offended. Whoa, why are you taking that example? And they're doing this out of not, the pros and cons of the path, the direction they're going to do. Because if they really did, they would actually care about you. Now, okay, these are probably very sensitive words, especially towards the parents all around the world. They're thinking I'm being like anachronistic about this. I'm going to tell you something right here. In life, and this is one of the rules of a book I read, in life, you can't expect somebody to completely fix your life unless if they already had done it and you're successful here and you don't need to fucking watch this video. But you're doing that anyway. So I'm gonna teach you something right here. And when people love you, you have like your parent, you would say your family, like everybody in your family loves you, especially not barring the siblings that you have, fucking annoying siblings. They love you as much as they can be able to fix your life. They cannot be the pendulum, like the pendulum in the car, in your vehicle, to start forth the car and go right in. They can only make you fix it. They can only make you yourself fix it. And you're like, what? And it's by punishments, consequences that they have. And this is the same for society as well. This is the rule that society abides by. You can't change what people's behavior unless if you start ostracizing it, if you start stigmatizing it, if there are balances and checks in place, right? No person is in carte blanche. It's basically the blank freedom, the truly free state, unless I would say if you're already successful and you've come to a point where you're rich. However, because you're troughing this journey, in having the debates, the arguments with your parents, what you have to do is you have to play the long game, or I would like to call the master's game. And this is one of the first laws of the 48 laws of power. We mentioned a previous law. It was not to commit to somebody in an unconditional manner. You commit to your parents because it's conditional, okay? It's because of the blood relationship, and it's like it's basically in evolution that you protect your tribe and you're nice to your parents and stuff like that, and they happen. But it's because that they happen to be that you respect them. Of course, you wouldn't respect a nobody if he wasn't connected with your blood. Now, back towards the laws again. The first law that I talked about is the master's basic. It's called the master's law, and that is not to outshine him. You don't outshine the master at all. Why is this? I won't have any rights then. Where are my rights? Rights come later. Rights come in an inept. They are not. Rights aren't. If people think this, vacuums, rights isn't respiratized inside of like a vacuum cleaner. You don't get rights for free by hunting mice. You don't get that. You get it by inepting certain paradigms, certain checks and balances. That's what you gain out of it. Now there are variables to this, of course. There are a lot of variables. How do I do this? How do I avoid outshining the master? Well, it's simple. You negotiate basically. You don't negotiate in a manner where you are above the kind of the patriarch or the matriarch, whoever is like is the boss of the family. You don't sit there and you stipulate with them and you continue on towards a Pyrrhic victory. It's like what the author Robert Greene says: you will win the battles, the arguments, and your parents will be mad at you, but you will lose the war. They will have more hatred, more disputes with you that will actually get in the way of this dream, this odyssey that you're going inside of, this business module. I'm assuming everybody who's watching this is doing also a form of content creation. Now, once you basically you have played the master's game, there are some stipulations you have to take. You can't be as much. How could you say if there was like a gear you previously used, and for example the parents now try to like hide away it? Well, what you have to do then is that you'll go solo. Basically, you'll retreat back to another line, and you have to, and you convince them. You say, okay, well, I'll still study. I'll still like be in education. Can I get this like good gear, for example? You can ask them like that. Gear I'm talking about, it could be computer, it could be something for your business. That's like gear. That's what I'm implying when I talk about gear. Can I get a gear? Can I get this gear, an X gear? And you ask it very politely. And often when you ask this, you show your track record as well. So for example, if you are in school, you say, oh look, I got like an A and I got a degree this, so they will be more inclined to be like, okay, I can like reward him for this like good behavior. Your example, the good behavior that they will reward in. So many people, they don't have the patience once they find this business model, like me, that start and they don't listen to their parents at all. They even start like missing out some lessons, like they will not come to time. That can be good sometimes, but it can't recur every time, every day. You have to like do something. You have to excuse yourself for that kind of thing, right? You don't want to anger the master right here. We don't want to anger him because we know that he will provide. He will be on our side, and he will be the provender. It will be good. He will be the propitiator, as you can call it. That's really simple. Top link in the description is my community linked in below. You could join right there. We have a community of students who are hobbling through the problems of family. They want to have a certain expectation, and I want to have other expectations. For example, doing business and getting rich online instead of still being in that fucking 3, 4, 6 year course inside of your university. Thank you so much. I'll see you there. Bye bye.